So welcome back. Martin's been doing the trim and we discussed in the last video. So that's all done and that's now ready for us to fit the cassette on, which I'll do in a bit and I'll show you how that's done. He's just doing the window over there and the other lads are working on the Sprinter. Now underneath the passenger seat there was a second leisure battery with an old split charger, which obviously we want to remove because we're going to put a better split charger in for the main leisure system at the rear. So what are you doing over there, bud?
I just disconnected the split charger that was in here from the main battery, ripped out all the wiring for that, got out the unnecessary components so we can fit in our DC to DC charger on the nice posh battery that customers haven't fitted.
Yes, he's actually supplied this battery, and yes, it's another Fog Star. So underneath the seat here there's actually an amplifier, and there was 2 speakers in the ceiling in the back. They were quite beefy, but the customer doesn't want those in, so we've had to strip all that, get rid of all the wiring and just left the amp in because they've actually connected all the speakers in the cab to the amp. So we've got to leave that in, but we've reduced the weight a lot because we were able to take out an old lead acid battery, which I say was off the split charger. That was supplying the stuff in the van before, but we said we don't need that no more because we're putting in a big lithium system. And Si is just doing the insulation in the walls. So we're now doing thermal liner, that's stuck on, and then contact adhesive to put on the thermo fleece. And that's coming on good. Okay, so this is the cassette as it is before it gets fitted. So there's some strips down here, so we just pull on these tabs here which will release the cover, put that safe, and then inside there's a couple of screw holes. Now we've got fly screen and a blind on the bottom. A lot of the older vans, the blinds were at the top and you used to bring them down, whereas on the newer ones it's actually reversed, so the blind goes up. And I guess you can fit them whatever way you like, but we tend to do it with the new method where the blind comes up, because you might want, say, some privacy, but you don't want to block all the light, so you can, say, put the blind halfway up, which will give you privacy into the van, but then still going to let the natural light in. So I think that's the reason behind it, but that's the way we've always fitted them. The stickers come on the bottoms, which is that way as well, so it tells us that's the way to fit them, but you could fit them anywhere you like, it makes no difference. But now the trim's on there and the reveal, and that's all done. We're now ready to fix this, so I'm just going to take the 4 strips off. I've taken the one off, so get the other 3 off, and then we're literally just centering it to the window and putting the fixings in. Now if I put the fixings in and do them solid, it buckles it because the wall's got a very slight curve on it. Okay, so it's not a motorhome where the wall is straight and you can do them nice and tight. So whilst you still do them up quite tight, don't do them dead tight because say you'll buckle it. You can pull it in plenty enough, there's no gaps, just don't pull it in too tight because say it'll just warp the actual frame. I'll show you when it's done to see what I mean. I said the tops and bottom is okay because that is flat, it's the sides, so because say the fan is angled, it just buckles them when you pull them in, not ever so slightly. But let's get them fitted, I'm waffling. Right, that's now fitted, so we just double check the fly screen is nice and smooth and the blackout blind is also working. Now they are brand new, so you will find them to be a little bit stiffer than normal, but that's again just because it's new, but that's not too bad actually. That's pretty good. And there's a magnet between the two which will hold them together, so you can move them independently or as one. So with that now I can just put the covers back in, and that's one of them completed, and a box out of the unit that can get binned and get a bit more space in here. Morning guys, so we are currently in the middle of doing the electrics in here. So I'm not gonna lie, it's actually been quite difficult because I've got to nail in that space just for there to do it all. But I'm currently working on the 12 volts. I got the last couple of cables to go into it, and then we can start wiring up the rest. Martin has done the door cards for here, so you can see that's in a different fabric. Now we've done that for a couple of reasons. One, to put the laminated board on there, because it's an outside door, it's going to get water damage, so it'd be nice for 12 months, but it's not going to last the test of time, so that's just going to see it last for a longer period of time. Now I also mentioned, obviously the ceiling is very plain, and if we put our normal LED profiles on like this, because it's a nice flat ceiling, that's obviously just going to stand out to mine and they look terrible, so I don't want to do that. So we're actually doing a decor piece. This is what we've done. That's going to run from up here, from the skylight down the middle of the van, and then we've put 2 recessed LED profiles in here, and that's going to sit on the 2 battens up there that we've got ready. So it's going to just, it's only 15mm, but it's just going to sit down 50mm. I think that's going to break up just the plainness of the ceiling, but also make the lights look absolutely brilliant. So the van tour we did in the last video, that's currently by here. Customer is coming up today to pick that up. It's been down in storage and had a flat battery, so it's been on charge. We're just having the engine running for half hour because the engine's not run for a while. But we've also got another van here that's come for some tweaks and upgrades, and it's actually the first van we did when we moved into this unit. So for those who have been here for long enough will remember it, but it's the grey Ducato. So this van was the one we did, which had the Solway panels. So it's the moulded plastic panels all throughout, and we've got the oak effect laminated boards, and we've done a fridge higher up, drawer down there. We've got a tambour door, I know he's got his toaster and kettle and bits in there, induction hob, sink, drawers, some cupboards, a pull-out spice rack, 2 single swivel seats. But for upgrades, obviously he's had it now nearly a year, and there's some things that have worked for him well, and there's some things that maybe not so well. So the first upgrade we've done, it used to have, in fact this is actually still part of it, but this table used to come all the way out to here, and it was on a leg, but he said it was obviously, it's a bit finicky to get in and out because it's between 2 seats. So he's now opted for the Lagoon table, which is something we fitted for him. That's working a bit better, but he also wanted somewhere sort of solid to put his tea. So we've just created a nice little shelf. That also means that the parts that are there aren't sitting there doing nothing, or we're taking them off, and obviously you're going to have holes from where it's been screwed in. So that was actually a nice little touching piece, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah. You don't want to be using that big Lagoon table all the time just to put a cup of tea on. And if I've got the Lagoon table outside, which I might do, if maybe put them out on here. Yeah,
so he's thinking about putting another bracket somewhere on the side or the back of the kitchen unit.
And even if I am using that table, I can put my tea on that anyway.
Yeah, job done.
You know, just have my dinner on my laptop.
Yeah. On
the Lagoon table, so it's a win-win.
It is. So this one, the toilet is down here. It's on we've actually got this on heavy duty runners, if you remember, that comes out. It's also a full electric build, so it's gas free. It's got a nice power system on this. Paul has taken it down to Spain. I think we got 350 watts of solar on the roof, 2 max fans. Yeah, it's a 560 amp hour Fogstar battery, 3 kilowatt inverter. He's also got the nice Oz all-terrain alloys and tyres on. But Paul is actually selling this van. His plans have changed, or his circumstances have changed, so he's bought it to us to give it a bit of a refresh, say some upgrades and changes on it. If you're looking for a van, it is, I can tell you, it is a very, very nice van. It's a 70 plate Fiat Ducato L3. It's a 9-speed automatic, and it's about 45,000 miles. 35,000 miles, so actually very, very low mileage. But yeah, if you're interested, my email's down below. Drop us an email and I'll put you in touch with him. And it's also got, I can see from here, it's actually got the 5G internet system on it as well. So this van is just packed full of features. He's got the full Remus blinds in the cab up the front. He's got an electric step. We've done electric dump valves for the fresh water and the waste. So it is just rammed with really good features. Really nice van. So yeah, if you're interested, drop us an email, but I'm going back to work. Sunday today, guys. I thought, right, nice and peaceful, good time to record, but I also get a lot more work done when I'm by myself. I don't get interrupted. I got the workbench to myself, but this fan is actually coming on beautifully at the moment. Three things we've been working on. First one is the water system. So this has got a onboard 100 litre tank. We've got a side filler coming in. He's put the breather hole in ready for there, and he's just done the pump, the expansion vessel, and that's going to be coming over to underneath the shower where we're going to have the 9 litre Punman water heater. That will then supply both the shower, and it'll also come down here for the kitchen sink. Shane's done a great job on that one, and I've been actually working on the electrics. Now, normally I do an electric board and I'll bring the cables through, but as I said previously, this is a bit different because it's surface mounted, it's on the floor, and I'm not going to get cables up through the bottom. We've gone with the Victron trunking, and it's just allowed us to keep everything as low as we possibly can because we're going to be putting a lid in. So we've got a 560 amp hour Fogstar battery, we've got some fusing, isolations, consumer units, we've actually got 3 MPPT controllers because we got one there, and up there, and that is because the big one is for the solar on the roof, which I think is 740 watts, but then the other 2 MPPT controllers are going to a connector at the back of the van, so we can actually connect portable solar panels. So this customer likes to stay in one place for quite a while, so that extra solar is just going to help him keep topped up. Then we're running, that's the 50 amp excess, and then we just got some more fusing, isolations, and the multi plus 2 3000, and that's gonna convert that 12 volt energy up to 230, so he's gonna have all his sockets live as and when he needs it, really. Now, the other thing we've also been working on was the ceiling deco panel, which I finished off yesterday. So I say I finished, Martin actually built it, fabricated it, I did the lighting in it, and that has actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting. That's come up really nice. I just found with these boards are nice, they're clean, they're fresh, easy to wipe over, etc. But when you've got a big plain ceiling, it just looked too plain. And also that coupled with, by the time we put the LED profiles just on here, they just didn't look right. So I spoke to the customer, give him a suggestion, and he loves it. And I must admit, I'm impressed with that. So they've done a great job on that. They've got it recessed down a little bit, but they've even done the fabric on the batten at the back there, which you can just see. So that's all done. So everyone's back in tomorrow, so I know the focus for Shane is going to be now to finish off this water system. Then we can get the frontal on for this shower wall here, which will then allow us to do the raised floor, which we're finally ready to do, and that's great because then we can just get our kitchen cabinets in, wall cabinets, and this fan isn't going to be a million miles away. They've also done a nice little deco piece there. We've got the diesel heater controls, that is a light switch for the wall units, it's 230 socket, and that's a switch for the hot water system. We've got a couple of the frames on. I think they've also done some work on the sliding door. So we've also tied that in quite nicely with the ceiling deco. So just a couple of pieces of this fabric just to break the fan up, and again the blind's been put in. Now we've got to do them different on the sliding door, because if we mount the cassette on top of the ply like we do on that side, then this sticks out too much. It either hits the van when it's being opened, or it can collide with the worktop, and because we've actually got a raised floor, it's definitely going to collide with all the kitchen cabinets. So that gets sunk quite nicely in and then just scribed around. So that's all sorted. They've been doing great work on the van next door. So the roof on this, the 2 skylights were leaking, there was 3 holes in the van, so Shane's been up there. That's all been repaired and fixed now, and Simon has put the new ceiling on, anthracite carpet, 2 brand new skylights, which we weren't originally supposed to be doing, but so the old ones were so brittle, and because they hadn't used adapter plates or fitted them properly, all the base of those skylights up on the roof were all buckled. One of them cracked, just no good. So Simon's just currently battening out this wall and just started ply lining it. He's got this bit here, obviously doesn't stay there. We put it in as one piece. We put our horizontal braces on to create our reveal, and then we'll multi-cut that section out. It just allows us to keep everything straight. It's just a quicker way of doing it. So I'm going to finish the last bits of electric over there, just tidying them up more than anything. A couple more cables, to do, and then I'm gonna actually be doing the electric board here. So I can see he's done a hole for these cables to come through, so they're going to come through, and the electrics are going to be on the wall in the garage. But it's a very basic sort of a system on this one. It's nice and straightforward, so we'll get that done, and then the boys can crack on with the furniture building in there while me and Shane carry on with this. Now we've actually found a passenger seat to go here, so the armrest is already on the right side, but the fabric is going to be slightly different because this is a brand new van, not easy to find, and I've spent the best part of 3-4 months looking to get a seat to match that fabric, but it can't be done. So I know the customer's going to get them reupholstered later on, so they'll be sweet. I think today I'm only in for a couple of hours. I'm predominantly just going to clean up today, so when everyone's in tomorrow, everyone's got a nice clean sort of start to the week. Morning guys, Tuesday today, so this video will be going out later on, so we thought we'd give you an update. I've started the electric board, which is for the Sprinter. Same things, I'm not going to go through it all. The only thing different is this inverter which a customer has supplied, so I'm about to take that over to the electrical workbench. We're going to get that cabled in, and then we can get that fitted into the van. Shane's about to do the bed bulkhead in here, and then he's dropping back onto the Ducato. So while I'm doing the electric board, he's fitting that, so by the time I finish my cabling on the electric board, I can fit that as well. And then we've just got the bed to do, and then we will CNC 3 kitchen cabinets. This van is finished, and we've got another van to bring up. And you probably noticed yesterday the boys did finish the ply lining and carpeting of the walls, so they're looking really good. The customer supplied a couple of 230 sockets he wants to use, because he wants one to be used on electric hookup and the other one to be connected to the inverter, which makes sense. He's got 2 different ones, that's how he wants it. I showed you earlier on the framing and how they do the windows. I said they've cut out the pieces that go all the way across, and then that's been nicely revealed, and we always leave about a 5 to 10 mil gap between the reveal and the glass, because we don't want them rubbing or knocking and potentially breaking that glass. Then over on the Ducato, we're now ready to do the raised floor. I've finished the last couple of bits of the electrics in here. I'm just waiting on a mega fuse for the B2B, which is coming today. We've just got to frame in the battery, get that secured, and then there's a few more sort of cable ties just to tidy up the cables, and we can start putting the tops on the trunking, like we've got some of them on here. So I just got to do the last couple, and that is finished. Shane's had to do a little bit more work on the water tank because we forgot to put the drain off valve on. Now on this tank, and because of where it is, we're actually doing one underneath. So Shane's been working on that. He's got it all prepared, but yeah, we're going to use a gas drop vent to go through the floor because it ties in nice with the valve we're going to use for it. And then this pipe goes over to the sill mounted drain off valves. So he's having a waste tank under mounted, so that's going to be underneath the van. So his shower and sink will go to the waste tank, and then the drain off for that waste tank will come to the back here. And then the part he's just about to fit to the fresh water tank will come to this part here. So when he wants to drain off, he's got this to drain off. That's not a backfill, it's purely for draining off, and you've just got your isolation valves on the 2 sides. So Shane will be doing that this afternoon, get that finished, and then we can do this raised floor, which we're really looking forward to doing. So we will show in the next video how we do get on with that. We've got a good plan now as to how this is going to happen, and we are going to create a step here, so we're sort of just, the kitchen's going to be coming to the normal sort of halfway, and then we'll start the raised floor sort of from that area. So there'll be normal height floor here, which is already there, and then you'll step up to the new floor. Ducato's boxers relays don't have an integrated step like a lot of the other vans do. So like if I show you on the Sprinter, they have an integrated lower step, so it's easier for you to get into the side of the van, which is obviously the most common way we get in. So see, on the Sprinter you got a step, then you got your normal height floor, but you don't get that on the Ducato. Electric step will be the first step, that'll be the second step, then you'll be up on the raised floor. But that's it for this video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Catch us next week.